Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. And today, I'm starting off another Disney movie marathon, at least for a little while anyway, for a little while. For this topic of this video, of news stuff, it's gonna have to be something church related. Yeah, oh what great joy. We already know how this gonna be. So yeah, it's again gonna be involving the Beauty and Beast movie. So yeah, for some stupid reason, a lot of these Christians sure love to pick at this movie. Even though honestly, I didn't think the more recent adaptation of the movie wasn't all that good. Really, the live action remake was terrible. So and that's the thing, folks. When it comes to live action remakes or just remakes in general, I don't care for them really. I don't like any remakes. So this placed me in a unfavorable position because they're saying some bullshit. Anyway, as always, let's just dive right in and just get this over with.
This podcast is brought to you by Pure Life Ministries. Pure Life Ministries has been a pioneer in dealing with sexual addiction for over 30 years now. Through their residential program, over the phone counseling, and biblical teaching resources, thousands of people are now enjoying the blessings of a victorious Christian life they never thought possible.
First of all, you Christians are not the first people on earth to actually do something right. And second of all, you don't necessarily have to be Christian to beat addiction. So okay, starting right off the bat, wrong, wrong, wrong.
At the Altar of Sexual Idolatry DVD curriculum is a 14-week series designed for individual study, one-on-one biblical counseling, or men's small groups. It features 28 exclusive.
Again, you don't necessarily need to be a Christian to help somebody in need, like going to rehab. Rehabs were not invented by Christians. They were not the people that created it. So again, you're wrong right off the bat. He's just claiming that you should only go to the Christian rehabs and nowhere else. Which which actually even from their perspective, that's a complete contradiction. If God really wants to help, shouldn't you just go to any rehab, not just a Christian owned one? See what I mean by not making any sense? Oh boy. Yeah, we're starting off on again more wrong. Today it just comes off like this individual, just like many other Christians, just want to stroke their own ego, which again comes off like a contradiction. Because when you think about it, isn't it somewhere in the Bible states that arrogance is a sin? Isn't that why Satan was kicked off of heaven to begin with? So, yeah.
Teachings and 14 powerful testimonies of men whose lives have been redeemed from destruction of sexual addiction.
Again, you don't necessarily need to be a Christian owned business to save people. That's wrong.
Disney's adaptation of the popular, as my daughter said, everybody in America has seen this movie. Actually, I have not seen this movie. Maybe I have had a deprived childhood.
The Beauty and the Beast remake is terrible, but not for the same reason I just claiming. And for those who enjoyed the original film, he's claiming that you must have had a depraved, really disturbing childhood. What?
But Beauty and the Beast is out, and I saw it for the first time, and it was an okay movie. It had all the Disney things you would expect in a movie.
It's actually one of the worst Disney live action films that they ever made. Also, didn't you just say you didn't see this movie? So how can you make an opinion about it? Well, like it matters, your Christians would do it anyway. And also, what does this have to do with addiction? Boy, do I really want to do this? I mean, really, all these arguments are starting to sound the same. They're starting to really run into each other. They just come out, they're just reading off the script. Same thing.
But, however, I was surprised that there were the insertions of an implied transgender.
Not transgenders. Transgendered. Also, what implied? How is it? There's nothing of the sort in the movie. Are you really sure you watched it? I'm pretty sure you didn't. I'm pretty sure you didn't. And if you did, you just adding stuff that doesn't even belong, which doesn't seem much of a stretch.
One quick scene, and also two gay guys that included the gay LeFaux character. LeFaux is
That's also not in the movie, and also, just because someone's trans or gay does not mean they're sexually addicted with anything. Like straight people can't. You just can dismiss that. Oh, okay.
Gaston's sidekick in the movie. The scenes were subtle enough that I think most young minds, many children, that they would miss it altogether. But still, yet, is part of our culture's ongoing, progressive, as they would like to say, effort to program our minds to an anti gay way of thinking.
Gaston's sidekick. If anything, he was just a kiss ass. Just because the character is nothing more than a sidekick doesn't necessarily mean there's a romantic relationship kind of thing going on. And again, that's not in the movie. That never existed in the movie. And the whole sex addiction also was not in the movie. You adding stuff there that doesn't even belong. You're reading way too much into it. And also, there's nothing wrong with being homosexual or trans. So, you're full of shit.
If this new movie makeover was totally over the top, which it's not, and if LeFaux was not a villain, there would be more outrage, I think, from the Christian community. It was well played by the writers.
You're suggesting if Gaston was not the bad guy, the Christians would be more upset because this movie be glorifying him as a hero, and that would piss you off because he's supposedly gay. Gays can be good people and bad people. It depends on them on the person, not their sexual orientation.
The irony is that the LGBT community is in an uproar because LeFaux or his scenes were not favorable enough.
Or you complain about the fact that the LGBT is having a negative reaction towards them, but you haven't a negative reaction towards them if he was portrayed as a hero. So you're not making any damn sense again. Again, that's just a sidekick.
To their gay ideals and their agenda. This is what Polygon said. Quote, many have asked for years that Disney include an LGBT character in one of its films, which doesn't seem too far-fetched given Disney's.
Yes, fans have been asking Disney to have a gay character in their films, yeah, but that in itself doesn't mean you have a point. You clearly are just adding stuff that's not even there.
Number of LGBT artists. But the company is still dragging its feet on inclusion where its competitors have excelled. The announcement that the nearly 100-year-old company's first openly gay character would be a villain's foolish accomplice was underwhelming and somewhat offensive. That is from Polygon. Ian McKellen, you may remember, he was Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. He said it was just a small moment and nobody should get too excited about it. Here's his quote from CNN Entertainment. McKellen said,
Boy, he doesn't have a point. He keeps going on and on and on.
for people to complain about it and say they don't want children to see it is absolute rubbish.
Someone, please think of the children.
I know people who don't like gay people and make a fuss. It's a very small moment in the movie. No one should get too excited. Yes, I saw the movie, and it was a small moment, but that's not a surprise to me. And I talked about this in my article titled, Why It's Okay to Be Gay and Why You Need to Know It. Here's the quote from that article. I said, the millennial culture is reared differently from the rest of us. The moral lines were clear for you and me. Sin was sin, and it was evident.
Of course, the millennials are going to be different than how the generation that you grew up with. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. And being a homosexual isn't a bad thing in itself. Just like being straight is okay, being bisexual is okay, being pansexual is okay, being trans is okay, and so on and so forth. This just makes it seem you really didn't see the movie. And what the hell are you talking about?
Being gay is sinful. However, the millennials have been bombarded by the media with the acceptance message, and
Okay, so Disney and the other media outlets are brainwashing millennials to accept what you deem to be sinful. That doesn't even make any sense because considering the fact a lot of Christians have been doing that for centuries. They're doing the thing you're complaining about.
the to each his or her own worldview. So, what is obvious to you, as clearly taught from the Bible, is questioned by the current generation. Shockingly, they believe it's okay to be gay and you need to know it, hence the title of that article. There is talk in Russia about banning the movie because of their resistance to parade the gay message to minors. There's also a theater in Alabama that is reportedly not going to show the movie. If you choose to watch the movie, just be aware that the Disney of your youth is not the Disney of the future. And by the way, the future is here. Each parent has to decide what they want their children to see and when to begin discussing this type of worldview indoctrination with their children.
It's also wordplay is what I'm getting at. Right here it's wordplay because his thing's called worldview. See what I'm going here? But yeah, it's of course it's okay to be gay. Of course he's gonna complain that Disney is not going along with what he's going with. Which of course just sounds controlling. And of course he's gonna attack Disney because Disney has made a lot of money. And that's why they remade this movie, because the original made a lot of money.
I do think it's wise to introduce your children to the culture, but that is a case by case call for each parent to make. You want to be the one that's teaching your children. You do not want the culture teaching your children, but it depends on many factors like the maturity of the child and where the child is, the culture the child is in, and the ability of your child to be able to process these things, but you need to be on top of it. I have some articles here that are linked. The article I mentioned, Why It's Okay to Be Gay and Why You Need to Know, I'd really encourage you to read it. I have another one here called Wise Parents Teach Their Children How to Curse.
Yeah, that's another thing. This guy, he's going all over the place. He's going off topic. I mean, okay, I cuss all the time. I swear all the time. And I'm not dead yet. So you mean to tell me that there's an ever-expanding universe that keeps going and going and going, and you mean to tell me that God himself is going to be worried about me saying the word bitch, shit, bastard, asshole, son of a bitch, so on and so forth? God himself's going to be worried about that? And also, you mean to tell me this all-powerful being is going to be worried about what I'm doing in the bedroom? None of this makes any sense.
That's an important message about who's going to teach your children about language, specifically curse words. And then the article, Incrementally Introducing Your Children to the World. I recommend all three of these if you're going to see Beauty and the Beast.
And of course, he never got to the point. He just keeps going off track, bringing some random stuff that has nothing to do with anything. Of course, this is typical call of Christians trying to warp the situation as if they are in trouble when in reality they're not. I mean, yes, of course, the generations are different, and people who lived during the late 1800s, of course, are going to be living differently from those who are living during the 1920s, the 1930s, and 1940s. Of course, people are going to be different now compared to the time period between, let's say, 1984 through 2020. This time period is, of course, is going to be vastly different compared to previous generations, of course. And of course, like I was trying to say a moment ago, is that of course Disney is going to remake the original Beauty and the Beast. It's called marketing. It's money. It's all in the money. And at the end of the day, that's it. It's a business. It did what it's supposed to. It made a lot of money. So when you think about it, at the end of the day, that's what they want. Uh, the Disney Corporation is fully aware of the fact that a lot of people grew up with the original film. And of course, they're pretty much trying to cash in and that nostalgia, the fondness of it. Is the film good? Like I said, no, it's definitely one of the worst films that they made. But at the end of the day, it's about the money, the moolah, the cash, and it worked. And not even counting the cash they made from the home sales. And the original animated film also made a truck ton of money. On top of that, it was a financial success and a critical success. So of course, they will want to make more money on a film that was already financially successful and critically successful. And of course, again, I'm not counting any sales from the home video releases that they had over the years. So, yeah, the original Beauty and the Beast had a large impact on a lot of people's lives. So, of course, Disney is going to want to remake it, obviously. I mean, I don't like remakes, like I said before, but I can see why they will do it. I see the reason behind it. But another thing, it's perfectly okay to be gay. It's perfectly fine to be a part of the LGBT. Just the thing is that this stopped being about the Beauty and the Beast remake a long time ago. If anything, Christians like this guy was talking about, it's all about control, and really, it's all about control. Which, of course, sounds like a dictator when you think about it. Dictators don't want their opponents to have any political influence, and in this case, it's Disney. Because they assume that Disney has something evil going on, which of course doesn't make a whole lot of sense because, for the obvious reasons, they won't have to do that. They're already getting a ton of money as it is. So, anyway, I'm just in here, folks. So, expect me to do more Disney stuff, more Disney related videos as soon as I can, of course. Anyway, up until next time, as always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time, see ya. Oh yeah.